In just a few years, Tupac Shakur gilded a career that left a long-lasting impact and legacy on the music industry and culture as a whole. As a musician myself, the impact of Tupac Shakur in the music industry is legendary. This speech will explore the life, rise to fame, and legacy of Tupac Amaru Shakur. Tupac Amaru Shakur was born on June 16th, 1971 in Harlem. His mother, Afeni Shakur, was a political activist and a member of the Black Panther Party. She even was arrested in 1969 for allegedly planning an attack on police stations. She did win the case after she defended herself in court while pregnant with Tupac. Tupac did not have it easy growing up, to say the least. Afeni, a single mother, struggled with drug addiction while trying to maintain the well-being of Tupac and his sister, Sequoia. Due to her addiction, she had trouble finding a stable job, and the family had to live off of welfare and oftentimes moving around from city to city to find jobs. They eventually moved to Baltimore, and this is where Tupac's interest in arts really took off. Um, he attended the Baltimore School of Arts when they moved to Baltimore, and he studied music, acting, and poetry. And according to Colin McVoy, author of a big biographical article on biography.com titled Tupac Shakur, Tupac reflects on his time at the school, stating that he felt the freest that he's ever felt. This school has very heavily shaped his passion and influenced his songwriting. Tupac's rise to fame really began when his family moved to Marin City, California, and later to Oakland, California. At only 17, he met writer Layla Steinberg, who recognized his talents and skills for poetry, and they garnered a friendship together. And then eventually, Tupac convinced her to become his manager, and it was through Lila Steinberg who Tupac met Tron Gregory, the manager of hip hop group Digital Underground. And this is where Tupac got his first start, first job in the music industry as backup dancer and roadie for Digital Underground. In 1991, Tupac released his debut album, Tupacalypse Now, and this album diverged greatly from mainstream music at the time and carried heavy themes of racism, poverty, and police brutality. It also struck major controversy with the United States president of the time, Dan Quayle. Uh, and Quayle said Tupac's music encouraged violence. And according to a 1992 New York Times article, Quayle called on the Time Warner Inc. subsidiary Interscope Records to withdraw the album to Apocalypse Now from stores. This was only the beginning for Tupac. Following the subjects he studied in school, he branched out in his career to become an actor, starring in films like Juice in 1992 and Poetic Justice in 1993. Around the same time, he furthered his music career, releasing his second album, Strictly for My, I can't say that word, uh, featuring chart-topping hits like Keep Your Head Up and Holler If You Hear Me, bringing his music more mainstream while still holding his passionate political views. With increased fame and success comes more scrutiny of Tupac's lifestyle. Tupac's career was riddled with controversies and legal battles, and after the release of his second album, a string of arrests followed. Most notably, he faced charges of aggravated assault for shooting two off-duty cops, but that case quickly changed in his favor as the cops were intoxicated and off-duty and threatened Tupac with an illegal firearm from the police evidence locker, which is crazy that these off-duty cops stole a gun from the evidence locker. Wildly corrupt, but in 1994, Tupac was convicted on sexual assault charges and went to jail. And even behind bars, he did not stop working on music. He released his most iconic and notable album, All Eyes on Me, while incarcerated, and it became one of the most influential hip hop albums of all time, touting the term thug life to describe the survival and pride in the face of oppression rather than a life of crime, as the media tried to portray him as. And after serving 8 months, Tupac was released. Tragically, just months after the release of his most successful album yet, Tupac was shot multiple times in Las Vegas, leaving a Mike Tyson boxing match. He died 6 days later on September 13th, 1996. And Tupac Shakur's life was short but unforgettable. And he rose from poverty and struggle to become one of the most influential artists and rappers ever. And his words challenged injustices and spoke truths about poverty, violence, in America. Even today, nearly 3 decades after his death, Tupac's influence can be felt in music, film, and activism. The No Kings protest just recently happened, and Tupac's music was heard playing throughout. I was at the LA one, and his music was heard throughout the entire um, No Kings protests. So just the legacy that he left, tying music, culture, and activism together is one that could be felt for decades after his death and will continue to be felt. So thank you so much. That was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed my um, biography on Tupac Shakur.